A very pleasant good afternoon to you and welcome to San Jose, California. We're inside the Provident Credit Union Event Center this afternoon. It's a tri-meet as San Jose State opens up their first home meet of the season against Sacramento State and UW La Crosse. Hi again, everybody. I'm Justin Allegri. Along with me is the former Spartan gymnast, Stephanie Rilova. Very happy to have you along for the first home meet of the year. And it's always fun to have the first home meet of the year. I know the Spartans were out on the road for a couple to start, but it's always fun to get back home.
It is. It's fun to be in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, and San Jose State returning as the MPSF champion from a season ago. They'll face one MPSF team here this afternoon, but the Spartans off to a pretty good start this season so far.
Really great start. They had an amazing home opener with a 195.85 at their meet against Stanford. Really great start to the season. 2 days later, they competed at the Air Force Academy where they had another win. So exciting start to the season there. All three teams today are actually coming off of a win into this meet, so it'll be an exciting one to watch.
Always fun to watch some of the top performers for San Jose State. We can talk about so many of them. We will throughout the course of the afternoon. I want to start with Jada Missouri because I think she's one of the leaders on this team, a performer that has been so consistent for San Jose State.
Absolutely, yeah. She's one of the captains this year. She actually, in the Air Force Academy at their last meet, she won the all-around title as well as 2 event titles. So she is off to an incredible start already. I believe scoring a 9.9 on both bars and beam this season.
Yeah, and San Jose State has a bunch of performers, and Lauren McPherson, who has been great, Emma Milne. You have so many of these key returners for San Jose State that have kind of led the way. There have been some additions for San Jose State as well, but a lot of these returners, I think, bring up the core that was that championship team a season ago.
Absolutely, yeah. They have a great leadership on the team this year. I believe Jade Lopes and Alexis Solomon are their other 2 captains this year, so helping lead the team. Really exciting stuff.
Right now they're introducing the UW La Crosse squad. They have had a couple of successful years. There's a couple of top performers for them as well. Maddie Vanderpool has had a good campaign. This will be her 4th year with the program. She had the season high a season ago at the NCGA Championships of a 9.675. There have been some top performers for them. You were mentioning before we went on the air, you were impressed with Alex Wood, her last outing. So maybe talk a little bit about this UW La Crosse team.
Yeah, no, they are looking really great this year. They have won their first 2 meets, and they both of those meets were tri-meets as well. So they were competing against 2 other teams. The first one was at Winona State, where they won, and then the second one was their home opener, which was just last Sunday, where they also won. And Alex Wood, she has been coming up as a leader on their team as well. She won vault at their home opener with a 9.8, a great score. So really excited to see this team come in.
Sacramento State, they're now in a stretch of a difficult part of their schedule. This is the second meet for them in 3 days, which is pretty taxing and something they have not done since 2013 in that time frame, turning things around. A team coming off of last year where they were 4th in the MPSF in their finish. They have some players returning, coming back, and some performers that are kind of hitting their stride this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah Luttrell, who is actually a freshman on their team, she has been performing really, really well at their meet that they had just on Friday at home. She set or tied all of her season highs on all 4 events, so really, really impressive meet for her.
And as a former gymnast, Steph, how hard is it 2 meets in 3 days?
It is so difficult. It's not only difficult on your body, that turnaround. They're still early in the season, so they're not quite used to having all of those hard landings that they do at meets. So that's always difficult, and it's hard mentally too. You need a little bit of a break in between, but I was talking with the coaches before, and they say the team feels pretty refreshed, honestly. They said they're excited for today.
I guess if there's a time to do it early in the season, maybe the best time?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Emma Morgenthaler has been great for them as well. She was a player that qualified for the Seattle Regional as a vault specialist last season. First team All-MPSF. She's back in her sophomore year. And this is a Sac State roster. They have 16 routines returning, 8 lost from a season ago. And they're trying to make their way in the MPSF. Of course, the Spartans the top of that group last year. and the favor again this year.
Yeah, this is Sac State's also their last year with Randy as their head coach. And he's been with Sacramento State for almost 40 years, so it's going to be really, really interesting to see kind of how the team adapts to new coaching staff. I'm not sure who's going to be taking over next year, but I know a lot of the girls who aren't seniors are really sad to see Randy go.
Yeah, how about that? He announced he is retiring after this season. He started as an assistant coach in 1986, transitioned over to the head coach in 2016 for the Hornets, and has just a long list of success at Sacramento State, including 8 conference titles, several NCAA regional appearances. But yeah, this is his last season, so it's gonna be a tough one for the Hornets.
It's gonna be sad. I mean, definitely he's been an incredible coach for them, so he's had just an incredible tenure with Sacramento State.
Well, the Spartans about to make their way onto the floor. Joanne Bowers at the helm of the San Jose State Spartan gymnastics team. Lots of hardware for them recently. And a team that, when you talk about up and down, there were so many routines returning for them, but also some key additions and some new faces to the roster for Joanne Bowers. And look, she's just trying to do the difficult thing and make it back-to-back titles.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of newcomers, Kyra Cato, she has been an incredible freshman for the team. Unfortunately, she will be resting this meet. Joanne told me they are resting Sophie and Kyra this week. They both have really minor ankle tweaks, and so they're just hoping to save them for later in the season and allow them this kind of rest. And I think that speaks volumes to the depth that San Jose State Gymnastics has. It's something they haven't had in the past, so it's really exciting to see that when the girls need that rest, they're able to give it to them.
All right, we're going to let the public address announcer announce some of the Spartan gymnasts as they walk onto the floor for the first time here this season. All right, the Spartans making their way onto the floor, and we'll step aside, and when we come back to the Provident Credit Union Event Center, we'll have the first rotation. Spartans starting on the vault when we return here this afternoon on the Mountain West. Back inside the Provident Credit Union Event Center here this afternoon, the first home meet of the season for San Jose State Gymnastics, UW La Crosse and Sacramento State. Their opponents here this afternoon in this tri-meet. Spartans, as they always do, will start out on vault to begin this meet. Now, it is a bit unique because we do have a tri-meet. So the gymnasts will be performing concurrently, so we're going to try and get as much action as we can, but stick primarily to the performers for San Jose State. So if you're watching from afar and watching for Sacramento State and from the UW La Crosse performers, we'll try to get as much action as we can for you here this afternoon. Vault's pretty strong, though, for San Jose State.
It is. Vault for San Jose State, they actually have 3 10.0 vaults that they can compete. One is by Jada Missouri, one is by Madison Kirsch, and one is by Cameron Kelpris. And those 10.0 vaults are hard to come by now. They've really increased the difficulty. Mostly you'll be seeing some 995 start values on vault today, but we will have those 3 10.0 vaults, which is exciting.
And the Spartans, I mean, I guess when you talk about some of the gymnasts and performing, and that's one thing that Coach Joanne Bowers has done throughout her tenure here, is just trying to get every gymnast to take the next step every year that they're here.
Absolutely, yeah. You can really see the gymnasts grow so much from their freshman year to their senior year, just gaining so much experience and really benefiting from seeing different coaches. A lot of times when you're in club, you hear the same thing from your coach every day. So it can be really helpful, just a change of scenery, just a new voice telling you the same thing, honestly.
Now here's Michaela Gentry for her first try and the first performer of this try meet.
Yes, and Michaela Gentry, she will be starting with the Yurchenko full vault, which is a 9.95 start value.
Gentry in her second year with the Spartans.
Beautiful start for San Jose State. That was a gorgeous Yurchenko full. She had really nice body shape in the air. That's one of the things that the judges will be looking for today. On vault, they look for amplitude. They look for that height that comes off the table. And they look for your body shape in the air. So you want to be in that really laid out flat position, which she does a great job of there. You can see there's a teeny tiny pike coming down into that landing, so they might take a small deduction for that, but other than that, it was a really beautiful vault. Showed a lot of control in her landing as well. Here's
Jada Missouri, MPSF all-around bars and floor champion a season ago.
Yes, and Jada will be one of the gymnasts who competes that 10.0 start value vault. That means her vault has a higher difficulty than most everyone else on this lineup. She will be competing a full twist onto the table with a pike off. One of the more unique vaults you'll see today.
She's been doing it for a while here at San Jose State. The senior now out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Nice job. You can see that vault is definitely much harder than the standard Yurchenko full that you see. She does that full twist onto the table, which is something you don't see very often. It's really unique. Here you can see it. And then she does the back pike off. She does have her chest a little bit low on that landing, taking that step to the side, so that she will get some execution deductions on her landing, but overall a really nice vault.
And you see that extra rotation you're talking about right before she gets to the table.
Yeah.
Spartans' third performer is Lauren McPherson.
Yes, and Lauren will be competing Yurchenko full today with that 9.95 start value.
McPherson, a junior.
Really nice vault. Beautiful amplitude off the table, gorgeous body position in the air, and just that teeny tiny step back, showing that she had the power coming out of her vault. She fully completed the vault there, taking one step back in over rotation, so she'll just get one small deduction on that landing. Gorgeous vault overall. That should be a big score for San Jose State.
Meanwhile, Sacramento State has started on the bars. UW La Crosse starting on the beam here this afternoon. Fourth performer for San Jose State on the vault is Madison Kirsch.
Yeah, and Maddie, I believe, is coming off of a win at Air Force. She placed first on vault at Air Force with a 9.85.
She had a 9.9 on vault twice last year. This is her event. MPSF champion in the vault
Yeah,
a season ago.
She is another one of those 10.0 start values on vault. So she will be competing Yurchenko tuck 1.5. Oh no. Just didn't get that rotation off of the table. She was struggling with it a little bit in warm-ups. We thought that maybe she could pull it out for the competition, but she just was a little tiny bit short. Really, really close though.
The extra added difficulty just makes it so challenging.
Exactly, and that is a blind landing. That is one of the really difficult things about vault, with that 1.5 twist being a 10.0. It is a blind landing for the gymnast, so it's really hard to know where you are in the air until your feet hit that mat.
It'll be up to Jade Lopes, who's the 5th performer now on the vault for San Jose State.
Yes, and just as a reminder, the gymnasts will be counting their top 5 scores on each event. They'll be putting up 6 competitors, but they'll be dropping that lowest score. So hopefully the rest of the lineup can step up here and they can drop that, Maddie's score.
Well, you have a couple of exhibitionists as well here this afternoon. Spartans will use an exhibitionist on several events, but not the vault. So it's just 6 performers here on the vault as Jade is preparing herself.
Yes, and Jade will be competing another Yurchenko full. That's that 9.95 start value. You can see the judges are chit-chatting about kind of what deductions to take there. Sometimes it can be tricky, depending on how the gymnasts land or come out of that vault. It takes a little bit longer for them to decide on how they want to deduct.
What would the conference be about in that instance where they come together?
They might be asking whether or not they felt she fully completed the 1.5, which I definitely think that she did. So I think she'll definitely be getting credit for that. It might be just taking deductions off of her amplitude or her body position in the air.
Here's Lopes now after that pause. That's another thing. You got to try and be mentally ready with the break there.
Exactly.
It seems like, huh?
And then that can be really difficult. So you can see her deep breathing, coaches reminding her of those words that help her stay focused. Wow, that was beautiful. And I believe that's a new vault for her. I haven't seen her compete that before. Really, really gorgeous vault there.
The Spartans needed a good one too.
Yes, so I thought she was going to be competing a Yurchenko full. That was a Yurchenko 1.5. So that is a 10.0 start value. And that is so difficult to land. And like I said, that's a blind landing. So gymnasts, they can spot where they're at in the full, and then they kind of have to just wait until their feet hit the mat on the last half of the twist there. And she did just a phenomenal job. You can see she totally knows where she is. She takes that teeny tiny scoot forward coming out of her landing, so that'll be a really minor deduction. Overall, that should be a really big score for San Jose State.
Finally, it'll be Michaela Pitts for the Spartans.
Yeah, and Michaela Pitts, I believe, will be competing a front handspring front pike, so that's not something you see very often in college gymnastics. Beautiful. She gets so much height off the table and so much distance. That's really hard to do.
She's one of the younger performers on this San Jose State roster. Any added pressure after you see one of your top performers, make a minor mistake early?
Absolutely. It's really hard to come back from that. I know a lot of competitors try not to even watch the girls that go before them, so they don't necessarily know what has happened when they're up to compete, and they can just focus on their own gymnastics, their own words, and doing what they've done in training every single day.
All right, Spartan Vault is complete. Still performers competing on the beam and the bars for Sacramento State and UW-La Crosse. Get you some of the scores as they start to come in. We mentioned Jade. She had a 9.85 on that vault for San Jose State. Lauren McPherson with a 9.75. Michaela Gentry with the 9.7. Jada Missouri with the 9.525. Madison Kirsch with an 8.775 because of that stumble.
Yeah, and the girls did a great job of coming back from that. I mean, it's really, like we said, it's really hard to see your teammate right before you fall. But the rest of the lineup, they stayed focused and they finished the event to the best of their ability.
Shifting over to Sacramento State now on the bars. They've had a 9.725 from Tori Tavener prior to this performance.
Looks like she's gearing up for her dismount here. Beautiful full-in dismount. She does a full twist into a double back there. Showed a lot of control in her landing. Had a nice high chest with that landing.
I always love how hyped the team gets.
I know.
After something like that.
I know. That's pure joy.
It is. Kara Houghton with a 9.7 for Sacramento State. And we were talking about Morgenthaler, Emma Morgenthaler. She had a fall, so she got an 8.75 on her performance on bars. Now you see some of the results on vaults for San Jose State. Those are the full totals for all 6 performers.
It's a good start for the team.
Some of the faces for San Jose State. And they get some time to watch these 2 events here. There's UW La Crosse on the beam right now. They've had a 9.775. And Maddie Vanderpool, who we were talking about in the open for UW La Crosse, 9.725 on the beam.
Those are some great scores. I was talking to their assistant coach before the meet, and they said that beam was one of the events that the team was having a hard time coming into and just struggling with a little bit, and that their focus for today was to crush beam. So sounds like they're off to that start, which is really exciting.
It's a long way to come out for a gymnastics meet.
Yeah, the team actually flew in on Friday, and then they spent the day. They got to sightsee a little bit yesterday, which is so fun. I love to hear that the gymnasts are actually getting out and getting to visit and see the places that they travel to. So they said they spent yesterday at the Golden Gate Bridge, so that's fun.
You got to come out and see the sights, right?
Exactly.
They do have several players on their roster that are from the state of California. Maybe it's a little bit of that so they can get some of their performers back into their home state.
See one of their girls recovering from a fall. She was just a little bit off-centered on her flight series there, and the wobble kind of got the best of her. Nice recovery though. Tiny balance check on her leap series, but she covered it up really nicely with some dance. Nice side aerial. Beam is really hard. It's one of those events where when you kind of have a stumble at the beginning, it's really hard to regain your focus throughout the routine. She's doing a really nice job of that. Gorgeous gainer full off the side to a solid stick. Great way to finish that routine strong.
I remember when you were a performer, you told me once that it's almost like you have to get used to the beam that you're performing on because they kind of change from performance to performance.
Absolutely, yeah. Every beam feels a little bit different, and you know what? That might be just in our own heads, but those 4-minute touches and those warm-ups and getting to really feel the beam before the meet is so important, and figure out kind of which direction you want to do your team, what's kind of feeling the best for you. It's really important. My favorite was always those like kind of newer, rough and scratchy beams. Felt like you could get a good grip on it.
Rough and scratchy, yeah. So this is, I think, Bella Lamidi, I believe, on the bars right now for Sacramento State. Nice
blind full, straight into her double back. showing great control in her dismount. Just that teeny tiny step forward, but you can see her chest is up. You can really see her face. She is so happy about that routine. That's really exciting. Love the reactions from the teammates.
As we mentioned, this is Randy Solario's last year leading Sacramento State. So I think some of the gymnasts may be a little extra performing this season, trying to send him off as best they can.
Yes, send him off with a bang.
Most productive event for them this season has been the vault.
Yeah, they've been really showing their strength on vault this season. Really nice chapache, straight into an overshoot handstand. The judges on bars are always going to be looking for those handstands here. They want to make sure the gymnasts are hitting that perfectly vertical positioning on the bar. Anything, even within a few degrees less than that, they can deduct for. And she did a really, really nice routine there.
I believe that was the final bar performer for Sacramento State. We're trying to keep track over here.
Gorgeous dismount. Lots of height off the bar. She let go at just the right time and showed really great control in her landing. And another stick for UW La Crosse. You can tell the team is really excited for that one.
And so far, 2 9.7s, one a 9.775, one 9.725 for UW La Crosse. Over on bars, Sarah Luttrell, who you were talking about in the open for Sacramento State, has the high right now at a 9.775 on bars.
Yeah, she has been kind of a star freshman for them this year. Sacramento also has like one additional meet under their belts than the other two teams. They've competed in 3 meets already. This will be their 4th. So it could be showing their experience tonight if they hit a really great meet.
And Luttrell, who was the player, a freshman out of Southern California, set or tied her season highs on Friday in every event.
So that, she was doing a Tkachev there, and she was just a little too far. And it's really hard to judge the distance sometimes on those release moves. Don't worry, she is not hurt. This is something that they practice all the time. That's why they have that big squishy 8-inch mat there for her to fall on, and she had a really safe fall. Landing on her stomach, arms outstretched. That's exactly how you want to see someone fall. Keeping all of their limbs nice and safe.
And she has a certain amount of time before she can get back up, right?
She does, yeah. So you saw her go and re-chalk up. You saw her coach lift her to the high bar, and now she's going to finish up that routine. Beautiful handstand on the high bar. And a blindfold double back dismount. She finished that routine really, really strong.
There's one more look at it.
That's her blindfold into double back dismount. You could see she got lots of height, lots of rotation, took that small step back. That's just going to be a minor deduction. But she had a really nice chest position in her landing. And she finished the routine really strong after a fall, which can be really difficult to do.
And that was an exhibitionist performer for Sacramento State. We should make note of that.
Right, so like we said, the girls they put up 6 routines on each event, the top 5 count, and then sometimes they throw in some exhibition routines at the end there. They don't count towards the team score at all, but it just gives people that experience competing in front of a crowd, competing on equipment they're not used to.
That was Grace Gilman, the exhibitionist. Here's the scores for Sacramento State after their bar performances. Remember, they only will count 5 of these. One of them a 9.8 from Amber Koth, which is the top performance on bar so far.
Yeah, Amber Koth actually won bars at their home meet against Alaska Anchorage on Friday with a 9.75.
She's a graduate student, originally from Henderson, Nevada. UW La Crosse, still on the beam. I believe this will be their final performer on beam. And the Spartans started out on vaults. Jade Lopes with the top score of 9.85 for the Spartans.
See her running to get a little bit more chalk on her feet right before she goes.
Never have enough.
No, never enough chalk. And beam is one of those events where you can show off your artistry a little bit more, show off your dance. Definitely one of the more graceful events. Nice full turn. That's one of those compulsory skills that can trip people up sometimes. You compete that skill from the time you're in, I believe, level 6, but even still. Oh, bummer. So she fell off on her flight series. Really difficult flight series she's doing there. It was a standing layout connected. Great recovery there, nice switch leap. And you can see her moving into some of her extra dance elements there. A lot of times when you fall on something like a flight series, it means you're not getting the bonus that you would have gotten for completing it. And so you need to often do an extra jump series of some kind to make up that bonus.
And that'll be something that you add while it's going on.
Exactly. So you can see the gymnasts almost doing that mental math in their head during the routine, like, okay, I fell on this. How can I make it up somehow within this routine so I can still start from a 10.0 start value? And really nice dismount. She finished that routine so strong.
Jordan Holcomb, the top performer on beam for UW La Crosse, 9.850 for them. And after one rotation here in San Jose, the Spartans will make a shift, and we'll be back with the second rotation when we return to the Provident Credit Union Event Center this afternoon on the Mountain West Network. Back here in San Jose, home opening meet for the Spartans after one rotation. We will transition over to bars for San Jose State, but the Spartans, after their vaults, they had a couple of tough performances, but overall San Jose State had some late clutch performances.
Yeah, really gorgeous Yurchenko full there by Michaela Gentry. A beautiful vault from Lauren McPherson. That's a Yurchenko full. She scored a 9.75 on that one. And then we did have a fall, but the team finished strong.
Spartans overall,
gorgeous vault by Jade Lopes.
A 4.8.325 on vault. UW La Crosse with a 4.8675, which is the same total that Sacramento State had over on bars. And here's some of the highlights from Sac State.
Really nice blind full straight into that double back dismount. I love her reaction coming out of that dismount. It is the best.
I think you know when a gymnast hits it just right?
Absolutely.
They'll let
Look
you
at
know.
that. That is a solid stick. Another blindfold double back.
All right, so here we go on the bars now for San Jose State.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a rough start on vault for them, but they recovered really nicely after that fall. So it'll be interesting to see how the team does with that little bit of added pressure moving into the bar rotation.
Jade Lopes will start it off for the Spartans on bars. Sacramento State, meanwhile, is over on beam, and on the floor, UW Lacrosse. So we'll get some of those performers as well. But we'll start with San Jose State. Lopes preparing herself.
And she'll be kicking this off with Maloney to the high bar. Really big release move. Beautifully executed to a gorgeous overshoot handstand. Gearing up for her dismount here, that blind full straight into the double back, and she finds the landing. Beautiful. Showing lots of control, really high amplitude in that double back. Landing with her chest up high.
She's just the junior for the Spartans.
Showing really great handstand work here. It is all in the details on bars. The things judges are going to be looking for is the height in their release moves. They're going to be looking for those vertical handstands. And then they're going to be looking for pin straight legs, pointed toes, all of the little tiny form things, and then of course controlling their landings.
Catherine Waymiller will be the second performer for the Spartans. Sophomore out of Colorado. Pretty good crowd on hand here this afternoon, too.
Yeah, you can hear the crowd kind of getting into it in the background.
A lot of the San Jose State student athletes will come out and support the gymnast program.
We got a big reaction over on beam for Sacramento State.
A 9-9 for Grace Gilman.
Wow, and she was not in lineups actually at their home meet on Friday, so they just put her back in today. She took a little bit of a rest on Friday, it seems, and she is back and better than ever.
This is Waymiller now on the bars.
Starting with a blind change to Jaeger. Incredible height on that Jaeger. Beautiful packed salto down to the low bar. Gearing up for her dismount here. Beautiful double layout to a solid stuck landing. Love her little dance moves coming out of that. That is going to be a big one for San Jose State.
Jade Lopes had a 9.75. Waymiller all smiles after that one.
Yes, that is going to be a big routine for us. Really nice handstand work there. See how her feet just stayed glued together there. That is so difficult to do. Another nice handstand on the high bar leading into that double A. And the height she gets on that dismount. See how high her chest is when she lands? That is textbook.
Oh, she flexed on everybody, didn't she?
She did. She knew. And then she hits her little dance move. That is pure joy.
The flare on top. That's what we're here for. Third performer for the Spartans, Lauren McPherson.
Here we have Lauren McPherson on bars. Starting off with a gorgeous handstand on the high bar, straight into a Tkachev. Huge height on that Tkachev. Gorgeous overshoot handstand. Slight arch in that last handstand, but you can tell she is being aggressive here. And that is so much difficulty into that dismount. She does a blind full into a full in dismount. You will not see that very often in college gymnastics. That is a very difficult combination to hit and gives her huge bonus. Scoring in gymnastics can be a little tricky, but it's helpful to think of it in two parts. There's kind of the difficulty aspect of it, and then there's the execution piece. And so gymnasts have to hit a certain level of difficulty for them to start from that 10.0 start value, and then from there, judges can take execution deductions. And those are things like flexed feet, leg separations, bent legs, things like that.
Meanwhile, Waymiller's performance was a 9-8 for the Spartans.
What a great leadoff. Hopefully we should see scores only going up from there.
Over on the beam, Sacramento State, they had that 9-9 to start. Morgenthaler followed it up with a 9-7-7-5 for the Hornets. Now over to bars again for San Jose State. This is Jada Missouri.
Pack salto down to the low bar. That switch kip that she does is a little bit unique, and she does it in a piked position. Most of the time when you watch college gymnastics, you'll see them do a switch kip in the straddle position. Gorgeous double layout to finish. Her body position in the air is textbook. It is beautiful.
She was the MPSF bars champ last year.
Here's her release move. That is a piked Jaeger, so that's actually an E level skill. That is the hardest difficulty you'll see in college gymnastics. Each skill is associated with kind of a difficulty grade, going from A, which is the easiest, to E, which is the hardest. And that piked Jaeger that she did, that's an E. That's a very difficult skill.
That's something that has to develop over time, right?
Absolutely, yes. You learn it in phases. And that dismount, that double layout, that is another E, so she has incredible difficulty in her routine.
In the McPherson bars routine, 9-8-5 for San Jose State. You were saying it was going to be a big score?
Absolutely, that is a big one.
Emma Milne will be the fifth performer for San Jose State over on bars.
Yeah, and Emma is coming off of a win at their last meet at the Air Force Academy with a season high 9.875. So we are excited to watch her routine today.
She has been here for a while. She was the freshman of the year in 2020 for San Jose State, the MPSF.
I remember when Emma first got to San Jose State, she was still considering doing elite gymnastics and performing in some of those elite competitions, flying all over the country. And doing both was a difficult feat. So she ended up deciding to stick with just college gymnastics, give up that elite gymnastics dream. But I think it's been really, really great for her. You see her really thriving on this team.
She set several San Jose State records in her career.
Gorgeous chapache. Directly connected to a pack salto down to the low bar. And her pirouette on the low bar is stunning. It is really hard to finish that pirouette in the handstand position, and she does it flawlessly. To a gorgeous double A. That is going to be a huge score for the San Jose State Spartans. She
may not hit the dance move, but she was happy about it nonetheless.
Yes, her teammates are thrilled about that one. Gorgeous routine. There is not a lot for the judges to take away there. So her handstand work is just incredible. It is so incredibly consistent. And there's that pirouette, finishing in the vertical handstand position. It's such a compulsory skill, but it is so hard to do perfect. And she knew exactly where she was. You could see her eyes spotting that landing before her feet even hit the mat. Love that angle. Incredible routine. And they are flashing a 995 on one end. I can't quite see what it is on the other end, but that is going to be a huge score for Emma Milne.
Alexa Solomon will be the final performer for San Jose State. Back over to the beam here briefly for Sac State.
And Alexa, she's one of those girls who just has the most powerful swing on bars. Not a lot of people can swing bars as aggressively as Alexa, so we're really excited to see her routine tonight.
Emma Milne officially a 9.925.
Wow, that is awesome.
Jada with a 9.9. And McPherson with a 9.850. So
a 9.925 for Emma. That's going to be a season high for her. Beautiful start to the routine. And look at that huge Tkachev. Oh my goodness, she gets so much height off the bar. Gearing up for her dismount here. Beautiful double A. She had a tiny little shuffle in her feet when she landed there, so that'll be a really minor deduction on her landing. Other than that, the judges will not have a lot to take. That is a really beautiful routine by Alexa Solomon.
You mentioned that Milne score. That matches her career high of a 9.925 that she accomplished back in 2020 in March.
That is incredible. Look at the height she gets on this Tkachev. Oh my gosh, she just floats right over the bar and connects that straight into her overshoot. Incredibly difficult to do. She makes it look easy. Tiny little shuffle of her feet there. That'll be a really minor deduction though.
Those are the official performers for San Jose State. We do expect two exhibitionists in bars this afternoon for the Spartans.
Yes, and Ari, she is one of the grad transfers, so this is going to be actually her first time competing for San Jose State, which is why she is in that exhibition position. She hasn't competed for a while. She actually tore her Achilles towards the end of last season, so she's still coming out of recovery for that, and we'll probably see her in the bar lineup in the coming meets for San Jose State, but since it has been a while for her, they're putting her in that exhibition spot for today.
Trinity Johnson will be the first performer as an exhibitionist.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. You're giving context. We like it.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's okay. You were excited. I understand. Trinity Johnson and then Castrans for the Spartans. I mean, this is one of the better performances on bars, especially after the Spartans got off to a little bit of a slower start on vault than maybe they're used to.
Definitely. Yeah, this rotation has definitely been a good one for them. And a really nice recovery after vault. Sometimes when you have a little bit of a fumble on your first event, it can be really hard to get your energy back up for those following events, but they have done it so well. You can tell that they are staying focused and they are moving forward from that little fumble on vault today.
Sacramento State has had a great performance over on beam. Luttrell with her 9.925.
Perfectly stuck dismount there.
Gilman had a 9.9, and Peyton Gillen had a 9.85. This is Johnson now on the bars.
Gorgeous overshoot handstand. That little arm circle there, that is a small deduction. But you can see her finishing up this routine strong with that double leg dismount. She knows exactly where she is and her feet are glued to the mat. Very exciting routine for Trinity. Again, it's just showing how much depth San Jose State has now. They didn't have it in past years. They have 2 exhibitionists that could very easily fit right into their bar lineup.
Hey, they're using this as time maybe to show that they can make the starting lineup, and also just to get some time in a real meet scenario, right?
Exactly. You'll see a lot of freshmen get put into exhibition spots. You'll see people who are recovering from injuries get put in the exhibition spot. And it's really to give them that opportunity to compete and get their heart rate up and be in front of a crowd again without the pressure of having it count towards that team score. So it's a nice little warm-up for them into the season.
See, now Ari will go.
Yes. Now we will see Ari compete in that exhibition spot.
She's a transfer from Temple.
Yeah, and Joanne was telling me before the meet that she has just an incredible bar routine, but they are just giving her that little bit of a break and that little bit of kind of a test trial run since she hasn't competed in so long.
And she was the 2022 EAGL Senior Gymnast of the Year. And she had a 9.9 high on bars while she was at Temple.
Yeah, this is definitely a strong event for her, so it'll be nice to see how she does with that added pressure of being in front of a crowd, being on her home turf. And she'll be starting with that mount to the high bar. Gorgeous handstand work right out the back. Huge height on that Tkachev. Oh my goodness. And a beautiful overshoot handstand. Slight arch on that last handstand there. You can tell she is going aggressive. Wow. And another beautiful double layout dismount. You can tell San Jose State has been working on their landings. Across the board, we saw a lot of really solid landings today. Look at the height she gets on this release. Beautiful.
I think it goes back to the point you're talking about, the depth at the bars that the Spartans have. If they get her back to full strength.
Absolutely, yes. She looks like she could join lineup any day. Both her and Trinity.
Rounding out some of the scores overall, over to the beam. Sacramento State, we mentioned some of their top scores from the beam, but so far the high in the meet from Luttrell at 9.925. Gilman with a 9.9. A 9.85 from Peyton Gillen. Amber Koth and Emma Morgenthaler both with 9.775s. There you see some of the scores for San Jose State now through 2 rotations.
Great recovery on bars for the Spartans. They had a little bit of a stumble on vault, just not performing to the best that we've seen from them, but bars, they came out of the gate swinging. It was an incredible event for them.
We will get some floor action now from UW lacrosse.
Love watching floor because it really brings out the girls' personality. You get a little bit more of a taste for their artistry and their dance. And a gorgeous front double twist to start. That is a very difficult pass. That is an E-level difficulty. Coming right back with a 1.5 punch to front half twist. That's pretty difficult to do. It is hard to do back twisting straight into front twisting. Some gymnasts, it just confuses them in their brain. It's hard to kind of sort out the different directions you're moving, but she did that really, really nicely. Really fun dance here. You can see the team kind of getting into it in the background with her.
They're the fellow choreographers on the side.
Yes. And that was a 2-pass routine, so you'll actually see probably quite a few 2-pass routines now. It just means that she has so much difficulty in those first 2 passes that she doesn't even need a 3rd pass.
For UW lacrosse on floor, they've had a 9.825 so far. That's the top performance from Sandvik, Kate Sandvik. Alex Wood with a 9.725. Kaylin Lansing with a 9.625. Jessica Taylor with a 9.6. And Kayla Dickinson with a 9.4. They will have an exhibitionist as well. I believe in this spot, this is Grace Kerr coming up.
She has some really unique music. Beautiful round off double pike to start. She got lots of height on that first tumbling pass. Showed great control in her landing with her chest up high. And on floor, the gymnasts are allowed to take 1 step out or 1 step in forward out of their tumbling passes, depending on which direction they're tumbling, into a lunge position. Gorgeous Rudy straight into a jump series. Gearing up for her last pass here. Front full to front tuck, just a little bit short there. Didn't quite get the rotation out of the front full that she needed going into that front tuck. But overall, a great routine.
Love the individual expression on floor, because you get your music, you get your dance routine.
Yeah, it's really one of the only places you get to see personality come out. I think you see it a little bit on beam, but floor, it's just much more personality with the music and the dance, and you get the facial expressions with a lot of them too. It's a lot of fun.
All right, that's the end of rotation number 2. Spartans will head over to the beam, and we'll get ready for the 3rd series here in this tri-meet from San Jose this afternoon. We'll step aside, come back with the beam from San Jose State right after this on the Mountain West. Back here in San Jose, 3rd rotation coming up for the Spartans. They'll be on the beam coming up, but San Jose State, Steph, with a phenomenal performance on bars here this afternoon.
Oh my gosh, yeah, incredible. They had 2 scores that were 9-9 or higher, and then 3 scores that were 9-8 or higher, giving them a event total of a 49.325. That just might be a season high. I'm not 100% sure.
If it isn't, it's close. We know that much.
Exactly.
Yeah, they were just...
Sac State also had a stellar beam rotation, finishing with a 49.225. Incredible beam lineup for them tonight.
Here's some of those performances from bars we're talking about. It was Emma Milne with a 9.925. Jada Missouri with a 9.9 for the Spartans. And then several in the 9.8s too.
Really dynamic bar performances tonight. You can tell they're working on those landings. You can tell they're working on those handstands. Execution deductions were down to very, very minimal deductions for this team tonight. Look at those landings. You can see them going really aggressive too, which I love to see. Going for those handstands, not shying away from it, and going for those sticks.
Catherine Waymiller will start on beam for San Jose State.
And beam is a tricky one. The judges are looking for control. They are looking for the gymnast to be able to tumble and dance on the beam as if they're on the floor. But they are not. They are on a 4-inch beam. Beautiful full turn. Gearing up for her flight series here, a flip-flop layout, beautiful. Gorgeous side aerial. And she just looks so comfortable up on that beam. You can tell from beam, this just comes with repetition. It's muscle memory at this point. Gearing up for her dismount here. Round off 1.5. Wow, that is a huge routine to start the lineup. Oh my goodness. You can tell the team's reactions. They are thrilled with her performance. There is not a lot for the judges to take there.
She couldn't flex on them that time because they were on her.
I know. They were crowding her. And the judges for these leap series, they are looking for the gymnast to hit a perfect 180 split leap, and you can see she does that phenomenally. She is just so steady on the beam, not even the slightest wobble. You can see she had a little bit of momentum coming out of that dismount. She was going hard, she was going aggressive, but she still fought for that stick.
Good start for San Jose State. Here's Jade Lopes.
Really great start.
Jade has a couple nice performances so far. She had the 9.85 on vault earlier.
And beam is another one of those events where the gymnasts need to accumulate a lot of bonus throughout their routine. That can be through the difficulty level of their skills. It could be through dance and jump combinations. But gymnasts start actually with a 9.4 start value is standard on beam, and they have to make up the difference, 0.6 of bonus throughout the routine to get to that 10.0 start value. Beautiful triple series. That is a flip-flop layout. Gorgeously executed. She had a tiny little balance check coming out of it, but she centered herself and she found her landing. Beam is one of those events where you have to be used to finishing your skills off center.
What do you mean by that?
So a lot of times, no matter how many times you practice it, you are not going to be perfectly centered over the beam. So you have to figure out in midair how you can readjust yourself to still land centered.
We knew Waymiller would have a good start. It's a 9-9 for the Spartans.
Wow. Yeah, incredible leadoff. And it's really rare to see the first person up in a lineup score that big. Normally the judges kind of hold out their biggest scores for later in the lineup, so she really earned that. Some highlights from Lope's routine. That is a difficult dismount. That is a side aerial straight into a tuck 1.5 twist. You could see she came out of it a little off balance. That's because it's one of those blind landings. The gymnasts try to spot the floor in their full, but it is ultimately a blind landing, and it's really hard to find the stick on that.
Here's Missouri now. Her career best of a 9.875 on beam. Accomplished that several times.
And Jada is actually coming off of a win from the Air Force Academy. The last meet that they had, she won the all-around, and she also won beam and floor. Really established herself as one of the leaders on this team. You see those big, deep breaths before she gets started. And you can see her mouthing words to herself as well. Those are some like focus words. They're centering. They help remind her of what she needs to be focused on during this routine. You just help her get in the mindset. Beautiful side aerial, so solid. And her artistry is just incredible on this event. There's not a lot of people that can dance and really show it off on beam because it's just one of those more nerve-wracking events, but Jada's doing a beautiful job of that. Little off center on her series. Her flick lay, her hips opened up a little bit in the layout, pushing her a little bit off center, but she's recovering nicely. Beautiful leap series, tiny little balance check on that. Gearing up for her dismount here. It's a round off 1.5, teeny tiny step back out of it. You can tell she's just a little bit disappointed about her flight series, but she finished strong, and that's what matters. Beam is just one of those events that no matter how many times you practice it, there is no guarantee that you are staying on. You see gymnasts of all levels falling off the beam. We see it with Simone Biles at the Olympics. You see it everywhere. It's just one of those tricky events.
Well, and you think about these performers, they practice thousands of hours.
Exactly.
And then they're judged on a minute's worth of
one routine of the millions and millions they do in practice. No, I know. But really strong finish, and that's what we look for, that resilience.
Johnny Lopes with a 9.7 on beam. That was the performer prior to Jada. McPherson up next.
And they will have the opportunity to drop Jada's score if the rest of the lineup can hit. So that is what we will hope for.
I think that's where you talk about some of the depth in the performers that the Spartans have when you have your captain and one of the top performers not have one of her bests. You have everybody else just saying, all right, I got you.
Exactly. Everyone else needs to step up. Everyone gets to have an off day, right? Everyone makes mistakes, and so that is where your team steps up and finishes the event for you. Another routine with just beautiful artistry. Starting with some beautiful leaps here. Switch leap straight into a split jump, hitting that gorgeous 180 split on both of them. And now she's gearing up for her triple flight. This is a back handspring, back layout. Beautiful. Dead center. Nice full turn. And sometimes on beam, after you finish that one hard skill that's kind of making you nervous, you really see that personality start to pop, and they can finish their routine just breathing a little easier.
I'm past it, we're good.
Exactly, exactly. Nice gainer layout. Gearing up for her dismount here. She's going to be doing a round off 1.5 twist. Gorgeous. Tiny step back that's going to be a really minimal deduction. Overall, a beautiful routine for San Jose State.
Joanne Bowers, the head coach, she let you know. 2 hands in the air.
Yeah. And what a recovery. You know, it's really hard when the person right before you falls, you can kind of feel that dip in energy from the team, but really strong. It speaks to Lauren's experience on this event.
McPherson had a 9.75 on vault and 9.85 on bars. This should be a good one for San Jose State over on beams.
This is a gainer layout, so she's doing that skill off of one leg, which is really incredible. And here on her dismount, you can see that huge height that she gets. And you can see her eyes spotting the wall in front of her.
Emma Milne will be up next now. Get a look at the aerial view from McPherson.
And Emma is a 2-time MPSF Specialist of the Week for her performances on bars and beam. In their debut meet at Stanford, she received a 9.8 on beam. Gorgeous flight series. That is incredibly difficult to do. And she makes it look so easy. Gorgeous split leap into that back handspring swing down that always gives people in the audience a little bit of a scare, but it is on purpose. Beautiful full turn. You can see her mouthing those words to herself. Again, staying in the moment, staying focused on what she's doing, keeping in mind what she needs to think about for that next skill, which is going to be her dismount. And here we see another round off 1.5 to a perfect stuck landing. Oh my gosh. The team is excited about that one. That is going to be a huge score for San Jose State.
She had a 9.925 on bars. Follows it up with this performance.
just really beautiful and unique. Not something that you see all the time in college gymnastics. Her difficulty kind of goes above and beyond there. And that dismount. Like I said, that is a blind landing. And it is incredible that she knows exactly where she is and she holds that landing position for that perfect stick.
McPherson before her had a 9.825 for San Jose State. No,
It's a great score.
yeah, this should be a good one too. Waymiller had a 9.9 to start for San Jose State.
And Madison Kirsch is up next. The team actually just recently put her on scholarship this year. She was a walk-on previous years, but she worked so hard in the gym and she absolutely earned her place on this team, and she is on scholarship this year and really excited about that. Really difficult mount there. You don't see that all the time. Gearing up for her flight series here. This is an interesting one. It is a back handspring, and her second skill is in a nodi, but it's really a back handspring with a half twist in the middle. Really, really rare and difficult to do. Nice leaps there. Gearing up for the dismount. That is a back handspring tuck, 1.5 twist. Awesome routine for Madison.
Some of these moves, how did the gymnast develop that? Is it something, a conversation between the coaches of, hey, this might be a good idea to try. Let's see if we can work on this.
Yeah, there are all sorts of different skills the girls can do to build up to that 10.0 start value, and really it's a matter of what works best for your body type, what works best for your gymnastics type. So a lot of times gymnasts will try out all sorts of different flight series and end up with the one that just works best for them. So that is a really rare flight series, but it just worked out really nicely for her. She ended up just hitting it a lot more consistently than the standard flick lay, and it is a wow factor in her performance for sure. That in nodi that she does, that's an E. So very difficult.
Emma Milne, meanwhile, another 9.925. So that's
wow.
The same score on bars and beam for her. And that's the high for San Jose State on beam.
That is incredible. Speaks to Emma's experience. You can tell she is just a comfortable competitor.
That's it now for the Spartans on beam. Sacramento State throughout this rotation has been on the floor. And they've, oh, I beg your pardon, we have one exhibitionist over on beam for San Jose State.
Yes, this is Ari. She is the grad transfer from Temple. Like I said, we do anticipate seeing her in the actual beam lineup in the next coming meets, but because it's been a while since she's competed, San Jose State is putting her in that exhibition spot for now to kind of see how she handles that pressure. And that is another unique flight series. That is a one-arm back handspring into a layout step out. And that was dead center for her. Beautiful flight series. Nice leaps. She was a little off center there, but you could see her squeeze her body and pull herself back into that upright position. And she is a performer on beam as well. San Jose State's beam team is actually ranked 17th in the country right now, so we have a very strong beam lineup, and you can tell just by the way that they recovered from that one fall that Jada had, they were able to regain their composure and finish the event strong. That was a gorgeous exhibition routine. I'm sure we will be seeing her in lineup soon.
Kirsch, her score was a 9.8.
Really nice routine for Maddie.
And so Spartans with 2 9.9s or over. A couple of 9.8s. And now they are completed on beam. Sacramento State still performing over on the floor. Amber Koth, a performer right now on floor.
And it looks like San Jose State is finishing up beam with a 49.15. That is a great event score.
There's the updated look for San Jose State's individual performers throughout the course of the afternoon. Very high scores throughout. That was Sacramento State, by the way, on the floor. Their final performer. They will have an exhibitionist, Anna Leroy, wrap up for them. Over on the vault, meanwhile, for UW La Crosse, didn't get a chance to see any of those performances, but they did have a 9.775 from Rachel Chesley and a 9.725 from Sarah Pastor.
Looks like they have one more routine on floor for Sacramento State. This is their exhibitionist, Anna Leroy. I had a knee brace just like that, so I feel for her. Starting with a really difficult tumbling pass that is a double front twist. She came up just a little bit short, didn't quite get the height that she needed. Gorgeous leaps.
She's another performer, didn't compete in 2021 because of the cancellation of the season, then had the knee injury. She didn't compete in 2022.
Oh man, so it has been a long time since she has competed, so it's great to see her back out on the floor. That is a round-off whip into a double back twist. Getting some combination bonus on that pass. You see Randy in the corner there with her, giving her some words of encouragement as she gears up for that last pass. And ending with a Rudy. Really nice routine. Again, that is an exhibition routine, so it won't count towards the team score, but it will give her a little bit more experience since she kind of missed out on those last 2 seasons.
That's got to feel pretty good. One final look before the final rotation. Spartans will make their way to the floor. After a solid performance on beam here this afternoon, we'll step aside as you take a look at the updated scores overall here this afternoon in this tri-meet. San Jose State on the floor when we come back to the Provident Credit Union Event Center this afternoon on the Mountain West.
Pictures if I'm on TV, like doing basketball.
Back inside the Provident Credit Union Event Center here in San Jose. Spartans, Sacramento State, and UW La Crosse. And there you see the team totals so far heading into the final rotation. The numbers for San Jose State, the bars for the Spartans, that is a season best number at a 4.9325. And then on beam, a season high matching total for San Jose State. They started off in that dual meet in Stanford with a 4.9150. Back on January the 14th.
Yeah, these last two events for the Spartans have been really, really incredible. Emma Milne has been kind of a star on these last two events, getting a 9.925 on both beam and bars. Those are going to be season highs for her, both of those.
Now this final transition period, the Spartans will go to the floor. It is pretty tight right now in terms of the overall scores. Spartans leading with a 1.46.8 overall right now. Sacramento State with a 1.4655.
Yeah, it's looking to be a close meet. Only about a 2.5, 3/10 difference between first and second place right now.
Well, we were talking about it earlier that Sacramento State's best rotation is that vault, which is where they're going to finish right now.
And our first girl up on floor is going to be Cameron Kelpris. And I have to say, I have just been so impressed with Cameron. She had actually a stress fracture in her tibia that they found in late July. She ended up having to have surgery on that at the end of September. She did her first double back on the hard floor on January 10th and then competed at the first meet at Stanford on January 14th, showing just
4 days later, huh?
Yeah, incredible perseverance. And she also has just really fun choreography, a true performer. Cameron is going to be one of the gymnasts that is only competing 2 passes on floor today because she just has so much difficulty in her 2 passes. Starting off here with a 1.5 punch straight into a front full. That is incredibly hard to do. You will not see that very often in college gymnastics. Again, it's that back twisting leading straight into that front twisting. Can be very confusing for a lot of gymnasts. Beautiful tourgitte there. On floor, the leaps are just as important as the tumbling. Gymnasts get a lot of bonus from their leaps that they do. And we will see her finish up her routine with a round-off double back. And no mat to land on there. Just a reminder, she recently had surgery on her tibia and she doesn't even need a mat to land on there. Showing just incredible strength and grit. Awesome performance by Cameron.
She knows it. Yep. Not even tape on the leg or anything.
I know, look at her go. Just incredible. And here is another look at that first pass. It is a back 1.5 twist straight into a front full, and you see her dance right out of it, showing so much control in her landing. She knows exactly where she is. And then her last pass, that round-off double back. A lot of times you'll see gymnasts do a round-off back handspring double back to give a little bit more momentum and speed into their flip, but she just doesn't even need it. She has so much power.
Had her career high of a 9.9 last year in January against Sacramento State on the floor. Next performer on the floor for San Jose State, Lauren McPherson. So you're seeing some of the vault now for Sacramento State.
here comes Lauren. She is another performer on the floor exercise. Her routine is really fun. You can really see her get into it. You can see her teammates get into it. And our home crowd get into it. It's exciting. Starting with a double pike. She went out of bounds on that. That is going to be a 10th for every step taken out of bounds. That is the deduction they will take on that. It's going to be a pretty big one. But hopefully she can finish this routine nice and strong. Second pass is a beautiful 1.5 layout. Straight into her dance, showing great control in her landing. Showing off her flexibility here. It's rare to see girls that have such powerful tumbling paired with that incredible flexibility, but Lauren has both. Nice double back to end the routine. Found her landing a little bit better on that second one. That first one will be a pretty big deduction for her, but really great way to end the routine.
It's hard to recover, but she did.
She did. She just had so much power going into that first pass. That's another look at Cameron's first pass. You can see she's really spotting the floor and opening up, trying to find that landing for that double back. And she does a really great job of it on that second one.
Meanwhile, Cameron's floor score, a 9.825.
Great way to lead off. Now I'm guessing they're probably gonna wanna drop Lauren's score, so hopefully our next couple of girls in lineup can hit their routines nice and clean.
Jade Lopes, Jada Missouri, Michaela Gentry, Natasha Foreign, the other performers on the floor for San Jose State. You see more of the vault from Sacramento State. Sacramento State with Luttrell, a 9.7 on vault. A 9.65 from Grace Gilman so far. And here is Jade.
Love seeing the smile right out the gate.
She brings the energy.
Exactly. Floor is one of the places where you can really see the gymnasts enjoy themselves. I think some of the other events are just so nerve-wracking that you don't see the smiles come out. Oh my gosh, and an incredible first pass. That is an E-level difficulty. That is a full in, and she does it, makes it look so easy. She gets so much height off that floor. Beautiful leap passes. You can see her teammates really get into her routine in the background. She is another one of those gymnasts that will only compete a 2-pass routine just because her passes are so difficult. Ending here with a double back. excuse me, a front through to double back, even harder. Awesome routine by Jade, showing lots of control in her landing. She lands with her chest up on both of those passes. This is actually one of the more recent changes that they made on floor. If you end your floor routine, your last pass at double back, it actually gives you an extra 10th in bonus, which is why you'll see a lot of gymnasts doing that.
It's kind of a risk reward.
Exactly. It's a really tough pass to put last, but if you can do it last, they'll give you that extra 10th in bonus. So much height off the floor. She was a little tiny bit under-rotated there, but she covered it up so nicely, getting right into her lunge position and then dancing right out of it. That'll be a big score for San Jose State.
Jada Missouri will be the next performer for the Spartans. Vault complete for Sacramento State.
And Jada is coming off of a win at Air Force Academy on the floor with a 9.875.
Spartans' best performance on the floor this year was that opening meet against Stanford. They had a 4.895 as a team. And of the two meets so far, that was the best overall score for San Jose State this season as well.
Jada's artistry is just incredible. I love watching her. Beautiful front layout connected to a Rudy. She is over that 180-degree split that we need to see. Really beautiful jump combination. Jada's lines are just gorgeous. You can see her like really extend through every limb and all of her movements. It's really beautiful to watch. Ending here with a round-off back handspring double pike. Getting that extra 10th in bonus at the end there. Gorgeous routine. Another two-pass routine for the Spartans. And what a great recovery from that stumble she had on beam. It's really hard to get out of your head when you make a mistake like that. You want to prove yourself. You want to go extra aggressive on some of those passes. She did just that, and she controlled all of her landings. She did a really great job coming back from that.
Jade Lopes, meanwhile, a 9.825 with her performance to match Cameron's performance. So Jade in the all-around now, a 3.9125.
That's an incredible all-around score.
She is the leader in the all-around right now.
Jade has been just one of those slow and steady, consistent competitors for San Jose State this year. You can always count on her. I believe she hit 4 for 4 at all three meets so far.
Michaela Gentry will be up next.
Another look at Jada's double back on floor. Beautiful. You can tell she had a lot of power coming out of that, but she controlled it really well. She dug into her back leg there and held onto her landing. See Michaela taking those deep breaths, getting herself ready for her performance on the floor.
Michaela competed earlier on vault.
Gorgeous dismount from UW Lacrosse. She did a stalter into her double back. That's a rare rare skill to see the Stalter. It's really difficult. I believe it's an E. Gives it a little bit of that unique flair that you don't always see. And here we have Michaela Gentry on the floor exercise. Love to see the gymnasts getting into their dance right away. Huge double back to start us off. Another really fun routine. The crowd gets into this one. Love seeing all her facial expressions. You can really see her personality come out in this routine. Back 1.5 twist to a front layout. You could see she really started far in the corner on that pass, and it is okay for the gymnasts to have their heels touching that white tape. They just can't go over that white tape mark. Last pass here. Ending with a double pike. You can see she was a little bit short on that landing there. Just a little bit under rotated. She got really incredible height, just not quite the rotation that she needed to finish that landing with her chest up. But that'll be a pretty minor deduction, hopefully. Still a really strong routine by Michaela. And here's another look at Michaela's first pass. This double back gets incredible height. You can see she's pretty open in that tuck position. And she lands beautifully with her chest up high. Here's another look at her second pass. This is the round off back 1.5 twist to a front layout. The gymnasts are allowed to take one step into a lunge position with no deduction, so that's what you're seeing there. Showing lots of control coming out of that. And then one last look at this last pass. Again, she gets really, oh, this is her second pass, my bad.
It was so good we needed to see it again.
Had to see it twice. But I just love her dance. It's so fun. You can tell she really gets into it and really enjoys it. And
Final
now,
performer for the Spartans will be Natasha Forend.
and this is a really intense routine. Some of the routines you see, like Michaela's, lots of fun, lots of high energy, smiles and facial expressions. From Natasha, you will see a much more intense routine. Starting with a big leap, gorgeous 180 split. Gearing up for her first pass here. Front layout, punch front full. Gorgeous landing, great height. And more beautiful leaps from Natasha. Like I said, the leaps on floor are just as important as the tumbling. The girls accumulate a lot of bonus from their leap passes. Little short on that double pike. You can tell she was just, her legs were a little bit tired going into that last pass. She rushed the round off back handspring just a little bit and didn't quite get the rotation she needed.
That was the final performer for the Spartans on floor. A couple of 9.825s.
Taking another look at Natasha's first pass here. That front layout to front twist. You can see the control she has in her landing. She knows exactly where she is. She plants both feet on the floor really nicely. And this is that last pass where she just got a little bit soft in the round off back handspring and didn't get the rotation she needed. And like I said, the Spartans, they're resting Sophie and Kyra, who would both be competitors on this event. So they didn't quite have the lineup they were hoping for tonight, but I think they still did a fantastic job.
All right, so we'll get the final scores here in a few moments. Spartans also love to dance on the floor after every meet, so they're trying to get as many fans to come out there and do that right now. But we'll take a quick break. Final scores and results when we come back to San Jose this afternoon on the Mountain West Network. Back here in the Provident Credit Union Event Center, there are the final totals in this gymnastics meet. On each event, San Jose State's going to finish with a 195.150 to be the best mark amongst the three competitors. And they had to fight through it a couple of events here today, but ultimately come out on top, which is the nice thing, and also had great performances on bars and beams this afternoon.
They did. They really did. And you can, it's honestly nice to see them have a few of these stumbles early in the season. It's good to get it out of their system. It's good to show the depth that they have in lineup. You know, they didn't have the full team that they were hoping for today. They were resting a couple of girls. So we anticipate seeing them come back even stronger. And you can see there's definitely room for improvement. They made a couple of really minor mistakes on vault and then again on floor, but they came back from it. They were resilient. And they finished the meet really strong, which early in the season, that's all you can ask for.
Apparently there's room for a conga line too.
Yes.
This is, and if you're watching this saying, well, what? No, this is what the Spartans do after every meet. It's just a dance party.
Yes, everyone can take that big sigh of relief. We made it through another meet. And this is just the post-meet celebration.
We do have some individual totals from this one as well. As you get a good look. Now, how often do you get an aerial view of the conga line? Come on now. The guys in the truck, they're loving it.
Oh my God.
So San Jose State with a 195.150 in this one. We talked about some of the individual performances today, but some of the highlights from today. The all-around performance from Jade, she ended up with a 39125.
Yeah, and that's a season high on vault for her, that 985. Really exciting.
Here's some of the highlights from her performances today. On vault,
beautiful vault by Lauren McPherson, that Yurchenko full. And then here's that season high vault for Jade. An incredible Yurchenko 1.5, spotting that blind landing. You can tell how excited the team is for her.
Spartans stepped it up on bars today. That was their season best of 49325 on bars.
And we're seeing some big dismounts from Jada and Emma here. Those double layouts, sticking that landing.
And then on beam, the Spartans matched their season best with a 49150.
And this was a season high score for Emma as well, a 9925 on beam and bars today. And then we have Ari, who was in that exhibition spot, but who we believe will be in lineup soon with an incredible beam performance. That very difficult flight series, the one-arm back handspring into the back layout. And then that big dismount from Catherine. She holds on to that landing as best as she can. You can tell the girls, they were aggressive today. They were doing the best they could. And
here are the final numbers for everyone involved for San Jose State this afternoon. Spartans win this meet at home, their first of 4 home meets. we'd love to see you out at a future home date. San Jose State will have 3 more coming up. They're next on February the 10th. Air Force in town, and that game will be televised on NBC Sports Bay Area. 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com. We'd love to see you at the Provident Credit Union Event Center. There's the upcoming home meet schedules. And remember, the Sunday meets, youth are free. So bring the kids out and enjoy some college gymnastics coming up. But on behalf of my broadcast partner, Stephanie Berlova, who did a wonderful job carrying this broadcast this afternoon, I'm Justin Allegri. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time from the Provident Credit Union Event Center.